What do you truly value in life? When you clearly understand what matters most to you, when you know your values and where you're headed, it suddenly becomes easier to let go of distractions, to ignore what doesn't serve you and focus on what truly counts. We often spend so much time hunting for answers. But the truth is, it's the questions that teach us the most. The right question, asked at the right moment, has the power to completely change the course of your life. Welcome to the Stoic Journey channel. For over 15 years, I've immersed myself in Stoicism, speaking with everyone from NBA stars and NFL athletes to elite special forces and sitting senators. Together, we explore how these ancient philosophies, born thousands of years ago, still hold incredible wisdom for navigating the complexities of modern life. Today, I want to share with you 12 powerful questions that occupy my mind daily. These questions come straight from the Stoics and other timeless thinkers of the past, designed to guide you, no matter who you are or where you find yourself in life. Let's start with a question that can redefine your social circle. Who are you spending time with? Gertrude Stein famously said, "Show me who you spend time with, and I will tell you who you are." Seneca emphasized the importance of surrounding yourself with people who make you better. And I remember my father telling me as a child, "You become like your friends." So here's the question to reflect on. Are the people you spend your time with pushing you closer to your goals? Or pulling you further away? This might force you into some tough decisions, maybe even spending less time with certain people. Think about it. Who do you meet after work? Who do you read? Who do you listen to? The company you keep can either elevate you, drag you down, or leave you exactly where you are. And that can be either a blessing or a curse. Next, let's consider control. Epictetus declared this as the philosopher's central task, to distinguish what lies within our control from what does not. So much of our energy gets wasted on things outside our influence. For example, if it suddenly starts raining, do you need to get upset? No, because that's beyond your control. But what you can control is how you respond. What you do next, that's yours to command. Our true power lies in our actions, thoughts, and opinions. The Stoic path is about tuning out the noise of what's uncontrollable and focusing fiercely on what is. So ask yourself every day, about every feeling, every challenge, every situation, is this up to me? Am I wasting energy on something I cannot change? Am I banging my head against a wall that won't move? Now, picture your ideal day. Seneca reminded us that life is made up of days. And Annie Dillard famously said, "How we spend our days is, of course, how we spend our lives." What does your perfect day look like? How are you shaping your life? If you don't have a clear picture of what a good day means for you, you'll likely end up chasing after more money, more fame, more power, or more influence without real direction. So ask this critical question. Is what I'm doing right now moving me closer to the life I truly want? Or is it taking me further away? I know exactly what my ideal day looks like. It's a calm Saturday morning where I rise early, jump into a workout, and spend a little time writing. Most importantly, I dedicate ample hours to being with my family, savoring those precious moments together. I carve out space to think, to breathe, and to reconnect with myself. I don't burden my day with pointless obligations, endless phone calls, or meetings that sap my energy. Instead, I make sure to spend time outdoors, grounded in the present, fully connected to the world around me. Every day, when an opportunity comes knocking, I pause to ask myself, is this moving me closer to the life I want to live? Is this shaping me into the person I aspire to become? It's a question that keeps me honest, keeps me aligned with my values, and helps me choose wisely. This powerful question was passed down to us by the great strategist John Boyd. While mentoring young men and women at the Pentagon, he noticed there are essentially two paths people take in life. There's the person who quietly gets things done. I believe it was Harry Truman who famously said, "It's amazing how much you can accomplish if you don't care about who gets the credit." So here's the core dilemma. To be or to do? Is it about chasing credit, accolades, and recognition? Or is it about the impact you make? The work you get done? Do you want the applause? Or do you want the results? You must ask yourself, am I trying to be someone important? Or am I trying to accomplish something important? This question cuts right to the heart of whether you focus on being or doing. How are you measuring your life? Hillel said, "If I am not for myself, who is? And if I am only for myself, who am I?" This profound paradox is deeply connected to the to be or to do question. What truly motivates you? Is it external achievements and validation? Or is it the desire to make a meaningful difference in the world? Sure, you have to fight for yourself. You have to stand your ground or risk being walked over. But if your only concern is self-protection, or worse, craving attention, then who are you really? I often think about someone like George Marshall, a man of immense accomplishment. Perhaps his greatest achievement wasn't winning battles, but turning down the command at Normandy, putting aside personal ambition for the greater good. This is yet another lesson in to be or to do. But there's a deeper question. Who am I for? And who am I? Marshall fought hard to rise and make a difference. Yet he understood that ego is meaningless in the grand scheme. What truly matters is the team effort, the collective success. There's a saying I once heard that captures this perfectly. If you play for the name on the front of the jersey, they'll remember the name on the back. Now, consider this. What am I missing by choosing to worry or be afraid? One of my favorite books, The Gift of Fear by Gavin de Becker, challenges us with this question. When you worry, what are you choosing not to see right now? Our mental and emotional resources, our cognitive bandwidth, our time, our energy, are limited. How are you going to spend them? Often, when we give in to anxiety, worry, fear, or taking things personally, we lose focus. We take our eye off the ball. I want you to start seeing those emotions not merely as unpleasant feelings, but as actively destructive forces. Because that's exactly what they are. Life will throw challenges at you that stir your emotions. But the real harm comes when we feed those emotions with reaction and resistance, compounding our pain. So here's a critical question for you. Are you doing your job? When Sean Payton was suspended from the NFL for a whole year, he did something simple but powerful. He hung a massive picture of himself inside the Saints facility with just 3 words: "Do your job." That phrase, I believe, originally comes from Bill Belichick, but the message couldn't be clearer. Every single person has a job to do. Every moment of every day. Sometimes your job might be small, almost invisible. Other times, it's huge and monumental. But no matter what, everyone has to know their job, own it, and commit to it fully. In any organization, in any walk of life, the fundamental question is, are you doing your job? It's human nature to focus on what everyone else should be doing instead of our own responsibilities. It's easier to point fingers than to do the hard work ourselves. But that's precisely why I love this question. Are you doing your job? And if you're not, why not? And if you are, keep doing it. Keep showing up. Now, let's take a moment to reflect. What is the most important thing to you? What do you truly value? If you don't know what's important, how can you possibly know if you're putting it first? For me, all the other questions in life only make sense after I've asked and answered this one. What is the most important thing in my life? If someone told me I could sell 10 times as many books, gain all the fame and fortune in the world, but it meant sacrificing my marriage or my relationship with my kids, I'd say, no way, because I know, without a doubt, the most important thing is how all these parts of my life balance and harmonize. Yes, work matters. It's important, but it's never the most important thing. Seneca spoke about this idea called euthymia, the peace and clarity that come from knowing the path you're on and refusing to be distracted by the detours of others, especially those who seem hopelessly lost. When you truly understand what matters, when you know what you value and where you're headed, you develop the strength to ignore the noise and focus on what truly counts. And here's a question every creator, every artist, every entrepreneur must ask themselves. Who is this for? I talk to countless business owners, creatives, and innovators who don't really know. They just make stuff and hope someone will find it. They say, this book is for smart people, or this content is for millennials. But that's not enough. You have to deeply know your audience. You have to understand the market. But more importantly, you have to understand people, human beings. This is why empathy is crucial. So, ask yourself, who am I making this for? Who are they? Where are they? What do they really want? Every time I create, whether it's a video, a tweet, or a book, I silence my gut feelings for a moment and ask myself, who is this truly for? Who is sitting on the other side of this? Now, consider this. Does it actually matter? So many of the things we stress over, the things we cling to and obsess about, in the grand scheme, simply don't matter. Not to you, not to anyone. They just don't. Marcus Aurelius reminds us to ask ourselves in every moment, is this essential? Because most of what we do, most of what we say, isn't. And when you remove the inessential, Marcus says, you gain a double benefit. You do the essential things far better. Think about Stephen Colbert. As a young man, he tragically lost his father and several siblings in a plane crash. What stuck with him was a question his mother asked. Can you look at this in the light of eternity? Does this matter in the big picture? In moments of crisis, when everything is stripped down, we suddenly see clearly and realize that many of the things we get upset about on a daily basis don't matter at all. People matter. Your loved ones matter. Doing your best matters. Everything else? It's just noise. And yet, paradoxically, that's where so much of our time and energy goes, chasing shadows instead of what truly counts. Will this be a live time or a dead time? That's a question Robert Greene once asked me when I was standing at a crossroads, contemplating becoming a writer. I had about a year to kill before I could really start chasing that dream. He asked me bluntly, what's this year going to be for you? Is it going to be a live time, full of purpose, growth, and action? Or a dead time, spent passively waiting and doing nothing? That question echoed in my mind throughout the pandemic lockdown. I kept asking myself, is this period going to be a live time or a dead time? What am I going to have to show for this stretch, whether it's 2 weeks, 2 months, or 2 years? The answer I kept coming back to was simple: a lifetime. Treat every moment like a lifetime. Because while you hold it, you're truly alive. But once it's gone, it's dead. Irretrievable. Right now, this very second, is now. Can you make the most of it? What can you create, change, or accomplish with the time you have right here, Right now? If you choose to live every moment as a lifetime, you're always improving, always moving forward. You're never wasting time. Seneca once said, "It's not that life is short, it's that we waste a lot of it. We kill time as time kills us." The truth is, you always have the power to make this moment count. But so often, we fail to do so simply because we don't ask ourselves the right questions. Is this who I want to be? Is this action reflective of the person I see in myself, the person I'm striving to become? Or am I surrendering to my lower instincts? Am I taking shortcuts? Am I doing something the person I want to be wouldn't even consider? Cheryl Strayed puts it bluntly, you're becoming who you're going to be. So you might as well not be an asshole. Every choice you make should be filtered through this lens. Ask yourself, is this representative of my character, my priorities, my values, of what I say matters most to me? If the answer is no, then you simply must not do it. Remember, how we do anything is how we do everything. You need to constantly ask yourself, is this who I want to be? Every single interaction, every situation, big or small, adds up in ways nothing else can. If I could leave you with one last question, a bonus question from Viktor Frankl, the Holocaust survivor and author of Man's Search for Meaning, it's this. We ask what the meaning of life is. But really, life is asking us that question. It is our actions, our choices, and our decisions that provide the answer. Meaning is not something you find, it's something you create. You build it through who you choose to be. These are the kinds of questions that, if you ask often enough, will lead you to the answers Viktor Frankl described, answers that shape you into who you're truly capable of becoming. If you want to explore more about Stoicism and how it can transform your life, be sure to subscribe to the Stoic Journey channel.